Welcome to yet another segment on the All-in-One Network with Aubrey Mohase. In months past, I posted the story on the forced removals. The forced removals happened because people and families were seen to be living in wrong areas. The government enacted the Group Areas Act number 41 of 1950 as a means to allocate specific residential areas to different racial groups. The Group Areas Act became the cornerstone of apartheid legislation that enforced racial segregation in South Africa. The Group Areas Act was enacted that enforced the widespread forced removals of non-white populations from designated areas to be brought to the newly formed townships, where people were now going to be lodgers under the various and specific municipal areas. The Group Areas Act, in an actual fact, was effectively institutionalized as a separate based communities according to the races. This act gave government the power to forcibly remove families, including individuals, from their homes to areas that were allocated to them under the new legislations. The forced removals were done in a very inhumane manner, as people's homes were razed down without prior notices. These removals were accompanied by force, violence, intimidation, and people had no adequate alternative housing. Vibrant communities such as Lady Selborne, Riverside, Eastwood, Bantule, Marabastad, Gastorum were displaced. The areas where people were removed, as termed and known as black spots, were later declared whites-only areas. And the community's unique cultural fabric was systematically erased. People's houses, homes were demolished. The forced removals disrupted lives and had the long-lasting effects on social and economic landscape in the country. People were now struggling as they faced ongoing challenges. This would relate to housing, identity, and community cohesion. But the historical context of the Group Areas Act was a broader part of the system of apartheid that started back in the 1913 Native Land Act. This act effectively restricted the land ownership for black people. And the Native Land Act laid the ground for future segregation policies, which took effect on the passing of the Group Areas Act of 1950. This represents a very dark chapter in the history of South Africa. The forced removals, enforced by the Group Areas Act of 1950, gave credence to the racial discrimination and the violation of human rights. For us to understand history is very crucial, so as to acknowledge the ongoing impacts of apartheid and the struggles for justice and reconciliation. The Group Areas Act, the legacy, continues to affect many communities. And it highlights the need for continued dialogue and redress. If you have found this episode to be informative, to be educative, and valuable, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Inform others, and let us continue to educate one another. I wish to urge you to continue telling our stories. It is very much important for us to remember where we come from, so as to understand and know where we are going. It has been a pleasure, and I so wish that we could continue to support the channel, and please inform others to do the same. Till the next one, keep well and goodbye.